about this coffee program. You're using La Mill. Tell me about why you chose them. What is it about their coffee that?
Well, I met Craig when I was working and cooking out in Los Angeles, and right away, just sitting down with him, kind of a philosophy of what we do is to meet the person. You know, that could be the prosciutto farmer in Iowa, and it can be the coffee guy in Los Angeles. His passion for coffee, his dedication to what he was doing was some pretty serious business. Right away, I knew I wanted him in to bring that to Colorado. In Silver Lake, he brought this thing that just he started using these like Bunsen burners to make the coffee, and then he used this system.
Yeah, but look at it. You got a couple little kind of laboratory tools here.
Yeah.
So this is for your drip coffee. Is this like an iced coffee maker?
Yeah, this is an iced version and a hot version of what's called Hario. So you can take a nice like small micro lot coffee and put in a certain amount of grams and then pour the hot water over the top, and it just basically acts as if a French press, but with the funneling system really makes this beautiful way of extracting the coffee.
You know, this is kind of a good example of all the choices you make here in your restaurant.
Yeah.
This idea of knowing the sources. Tell me a little bit about the vision that's driving you in this restaurant. There's something that's burning inside
There
you.
is.
Where's it coming from?
You know, it's my craft. It's my profession, first of all. I mean, there's no doubt that this is my chosen profession. But it goes much deeper than that. You know, my time spent in Italy, you get around all these passionate people and these passionate chefs, and you start to think there's something to this, you know?
But let me, while you were there, is that where you kind of got fascinated with cooking with fire?
It is.
Because that's they do all that wood fire
They
cooking.
do, and the restaurants that I was at, and I was working fine dining, I wasn't working in the pizzerias, but I was working 6 days a week. On my 7th day, I would meet a pizza cook, pizzaiolo. And so on that 7th day of my day off, I would go in and I started working in these pizza kitchens as I got to know more people, because they're not too fond of it. You know, the pizza kitchen in Naples is in the open. You know, they're not too fond of an American being, I think necessary.
Right.
So it really is about meeting someone and getting in there and bit by bit, and then that's where I absolutely, you know, fell in love with this type of cooking.
You said something at the Fire Within conference about the craft of pizza making, how it's viewed. In Naples.
It's one of the most highest regarded jobs in Naples. You know, it's like a doctor, and that goes down to the pay that they're getting, and just the status of walking around town, and the guys that have been there, they've been, you know, certain pizzerias only serve 2 pizzas. It's the same guy working for 20 years making the same 2 pizzas. And every day this is the proudest thing he does, you know, and
kind of a nobility in it.
It's a noble profession.
So essentially, when you created Pizzeria Basta, you brought some of that influence back here. And how's it playing out? I mean, you're doing more than pizzas here, but everything you're doing is essentially from wood-fired oven.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the ideas that you got there that you brought back
when I got back from Italy, I went to Los Angeles. I've been cooking out there, and I took this switch. I switched to French fine dining because I didn't go to culinary school, but I needed that technique base. So what I wanted to bring back to Basta in this concept, to get back to your question, is just, you know, it's that underlying professionalism, that's underlying fine dining technique, but apply it to something that's way more approachable.